Hi, I'm so excited to invite you to a free event this week before I do the Astro Oracle reading. Come to the solstice celebration on December 21st at noon Eastern Standard Time, where I introduce you to an incredible astrologer named Leslie Tagorda. We are going to have so much fun. It's totally free. We're giving out prizes. There's a link somewhere, and I hope to see you there. Now let's do the Astro Oracle reading, and we're going to start with Aries. And okay, let's see what's in store for you this week. And these cards are only read upright. I love this deck. I did this deck with Alberto Villoldo based on the Shaman archetype. The fact that all of us have, whether we liked it or not, have been initiated into the underworlds where we bring a gift back to our people once we have looked into the shadows and found our treasure, which is what everybody has done specifically over the past year and a half. Okay. So for Aries, this is moving out of stagnation and diving into a task and having compassion. So it's interesting because this week, if you saw yesterday's reading, it talked a lot about stress, workaholism, needing to take a break, self-care, saying no, etc. But for the Aries, this definitely looks like you're diving deep into a completion. So you're finishing things up, and that's going to help you get out of the stagnation. You're in a very compassionate mindset, which is great. And it's also asking you to be compassionate with yourself, right? So if you have a lot to do, you want to get clear of it in the next week. Okay, so now let's take a look at Taurus. There we go. I'm not used to seeing myself with dark nail polish. I did something different. I like it. Okay, Taurus. So Taurus is that's funny. Okay, so Taurus, you have to be careful this week that you don't get caught up in your resistance and your stubbornness, right? So this is really, really crucial for you and for all earth signs as well, but particularly for the Taurus personality. You want to know that you can surrender to whatever is in front of you and not be too worried about the detours that may come up for you, or the fact that you're required to do something you're not used to. It's about getting out of your comfort zone, and you might need a little direction. So you're going to want to pick up the phone and talk to somebody that you feel grounded with. This is about surrounding yourself as well with people that you feel grounded with, and remembering, again, the reading for the week, which this fits beautifully with, was to watch your resistance when things change in front of you, because that's what could cause you your own turmoil. Okay, so now let's take a look at, that could be something small too, like it doesn't have to be big. Oftentimes the tiniest little thing in front of us, like the princess and the pea, right? There's like a little pea that's bothering you, and it may not be a giant thing, right? It could be just a niggling of something. So be careful of that. Let's look at Gemini. Gemini! That's Mark's favorite card, is the Joyful Muse. And this beautiful art by Jenna de la Gratalia. Joyful Muse inspiration. So this is all in the Divine Matrix and Will-o'-the-Wisp. So again, right, we're looking at the shadows. The shadows are here, the Will-o'-the-Wisp treasures hiding in the shadows. But the Gemini personality, you are finding yourself very creative and trusting that in this creativity of change for you this week, you are going to notice that you bump up against some of your unprocessed ego content. It may be that things don't go the way you want them to. So how you respond to that, I guess it's draw upon your creative self, the way you creatively interpret things. Your spiritual connection is crucial, and then this won't be difficult to manage, right? So that's for Gemini. What a mix. Oh boy, what a mixed bag this year. Next year, it's all about healing and relationships and a little bit more joy. Let's see here. Okay, it's Cancer. Cancer, power of community. This is nice. Ending things and grace and generosity. Yay, me. I need a break. Anyway, so power of community, gathering around. It's great for me because I'm doing the solstice event this week, but it really is about the kind of community that you love, and that you can bring your love to your community, and your friendship, and your compassion, and your grace, and your generosity, and your just sense of abundance. So, and Cancers, it's okay to finally know that things are complete for you, that in fact you've gone as far as you can with some people, places, things, storylines, and you realize that that is the gift, the liberating gift for you. So that's a beautiful week for Cancers. Now let's take a look at Leo. So Leo, what is Leo? Mindful, groupthink, ancestral wisdom, and gestation period. Okay, so for Leos, again, there's a card that relates to other people. It says for you to think for yourself or draw upon what you know works already. So mindful is card 40, lay of the land, ancestral wisdom card 34, and card 63 is winter's dream, which is about a gestation period. So again, mirroring time for a nap, right, where people are fried, you do know that there is a time for movement, there's a time for activity, and there's a time to hold back. And so you have this wisdom already for you. You know when to say no. And it's not a no because anything is wrong. It could be just a no because you need a timeout, right? So that's going to be really key for the Leo personality. In your need to be generous and giving to other people, you have to be generous and giving to yourself as well too. Also too, there's some creative projects here that looks like you're gestating. They're kind of in their dormancy stage. So you're going to want to just relax your way through that. Let's look at Virgo. Virgo, rising above the fray. That's so interesting. The right use of power and the wall or the obstacles. Okay, so you know how I talked about the earth signs having a particular issue this week? So here we go again. So don't take things personally is the first card, basically Eye of the Eagle. Rising above the fray, not participating in anyone else's drama. That's going to be key. You're not here to heal anybody else at this moment. The right use of power for you is to step back, not to impose your ideas on anybody else. The right use of power here is to share your power with others, assuming that when we talk about power, it's not power over, it's shared responsibilities. So you do have some responsibility in how you respond to things and how you manage the wall that's in front of you, which is about obstacles. They're temporary. You don't bang into them. Like the resistance or pushing forward will not work for you this week. You just have to wait till the wall dissolves, because it will. It's like salt. So that's for Virgo. Now let's take a look at Libra. I love this card deck. I cannot tell you. Alberto, are you there? I love this card deck. Libra, beloved. And Dragon's Hoard. Oh, repairing the veil. That's nice. Okay, so for the Libras, what it's saying here is that you have to radically accept other people as they are. Take them at face value. Whatever it is from the past, you have an opportunity to repair the veil. So you have radical acceptance with the beloved card. Then you have the Dragon's Hoard, which is protecting the future. So whatever that you do now, ask yourself, how important is it for me to be right? How important is it for me to dive in to make everybody happy? Maybe the repairing of the veil of forgiveness is forgiveness for yourself, letting others off the hook, yes, but also allowing yourself to have for the future very, very good protective boundaries. This is very important that you make your boundaries sacred this week. That's for Libras. You can't change anybody. It's just the way it is. So let's talk about Scorpio now. Scorpio, we are going to take a look at Scorpio. Scorpio is Netcaster, Heart Home, and Straddling Worlds. So Netcaster is all about the preparations that have come to fruition. You've done a lot of work this year, Scorpio personality. Now you're reaping the rewards. You can be compassionate too more for other people because you've been through that Pluto Hades place and come out the other side. You know all about the phoenix, about dying to yourself and being reborn in the fire. And this is really understanding the nature of suffering of other people. So you can afford to be compassionate this week for other people. You really have gone far. And wandering between realms is the message here that it's okay not to have arrived anywhere just yet. You are recognizing that you're in process like a story in motion that I teach about. And here you recognize that you don't need to land anywhere in particular. You just know that you're seeing the results, like those buds that come out of the ground this week. So it's a really good week for Scorpios. Okay, so now let's look at Sagittarius. Covenant, sacred contract, skywriting, and last but not least, the unmarked trail. Okay, so here's what the reading says for you, for Sagittarius. So you have a sacred contract right now. The covenant is to have fun and to see what's there and what's available to you, and to see the world through the lens of truth and clarity, which Sages love, but also to recognize that you'll have some epiphanies and see things a little differently that you weren't anticipating, which is great. So the fact that you have a sacred contract to evolve, which you do, and your love of philosophy and your love of truth, you're seeing that there is more than one truth. There's truth, there's different perspectives. So you're going to have a change in perspective this week. Just surrender to that. And that's for Sagittarius. And Capricorn. So for Capricorns, in the hand, the universe is your partner. Don't forget, you're not the one that has to do everything all by yourself. Also skywriting, which is about the fates, which is surrendering to life on life's terms. And then it's another surrender card. Oh, you really got to be surrendering to the universe. So your partner is spirit, not people. Okay. Spirit works through people, yes, but your primary relationship is with your higher power. And make the universe your partner. Trust your intuition when you get a sense of, practice the serenity prayer, which is part of the skywriting. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. Courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. You can't change other people. You can only change yourself. When detours come up, you can't change that fact. You have to surrender to the flow, which is exactly what this card says. Sky dancers are all about surrender. Now let's look at Aquarius. Okay, so for Aquarius, let's see how you're managing this week. Adaptability, that's great, because Aquarius is a fixed sign. It's not always easy to adapt. Spiritual narcolepsy mean you could get trapped in your ego, so you need to be intentional about your adaptability. The world is not personal, so don't take this week personally, is what this card is saying too. You might fall into the trap of poor me, or me, I, or it's all about me, and forget that everybody gets a say, right? Everybody can come to the table in their way. So it's not all about what you want. And the adaptability card is reminding you that there is intentionality in your ability to adapt and say, you know what, I'm going to attend to just go with the flow and trust that everything happens for deeper meaning that I haven't discovered yet. And it's okay that you haven't. Now let's take a look at Pisces. Last but not least, obviously it's never least because Pisces is the mystic of the zodiac. Let's see. Okay. The divine matrix comes up for you. The galactic mushroom. That is the coolest card. Connection to spirit. This is a great card. Me talks. It's called repairing the body, mind, and spirit. Now, we already had that. We had a move towards this anyway, taking that time out. You're stressed. So it's saying, you know what? This is a sacred time for you to detach and to do your own personal self-care. Very, very important. And yeah, the lost compass, getting back to integrity. So you might have been stretched super thin the past couple of weeks. And this week for the Pisces personality, you need extra self-care. It's going to be that much more important for you to really kind of regroup. I love that you're a water sign and we've got this mermaid being in a bathtub. So taking a tub would be a good idea. And just knowing where your boundaries are. Like, when your batteries are dead, you just can't keep running on fumes. So it's important that you take some time out for yourself, Pisces, and also getting the pieces back. Like, you've learned a lot this year. It's a great week to also take a personal inventory, to remember all the wisdom that you've gained from the experience and the knowledge and that you've gathered. And now it's how do you make it part of you? That's definitely a concept for you this week as we enter into welcoming sunlight on the day of the longest night. Alrighty, thank you so much. And don't forget, we have a special event this December 21st, any day. Leslie Tagorda and I are going to be inviting you to a fantastic solstice celebration. We do this every year. It'd be really awesome for you to come, giving out prizes. This is a wonderful time for you to gather with us in community and really do a ritual on welcoming in this new vitality as a this preliminary ceremony for 2022. Alrighty, everybody. If you like this video, subscribe to my channel. Leave a comment. I love reading your comments, and I'm going to see you next time, hopefully at the solstice. Take care. Bye.